He always stood in the same corner by the hangar door. David Thompson, 52 years old, gray-haired, a quiet cleaning crew member. He had been doing the same job for 12 years, speaking minimally with pilots. Until that day when pilot Jake noticed his precision during aircraft maintenance and his aviation instincts. These movements, they were legendary pilot movements. Welcome to Hidden Hero Stories. Before we begin this incredible discovery story, tell me in the comments which city you're watching from today. And if you believe stories like these hidden heroes need to be heard, hit that subscribe button and help us keep these stories alive. In Reno, Nevada, at the small Riverside Airport, the same scene played out every day. Private jets, small aircraft, charter flights, and David Thompson, the man quietly cleaning in the corner of the hangar. David was 52 years old, gray-haired, medium-height man. He had been doing the same job for 12 years, aircraft cleaning. Every morning he would arrive at 6, work until 5 in the evening. He would wash planes, sweep the hangar, organize equipment. The pilots at the airport knew David, but none had long conversations with him. David was a man who spoke very little, focused on his work. He would give short answers to questions, smile, and continue with his job. "David is a very hard-working man," said airport manager Tom Wilson. "For 12 years he's never caused any problems. Quiet, reliable." This was true. David was the invisible hero of the airport. The planes were clean because of him. The hangar was organized because of him. But no one questioned David's past. David's favorite spot was the small table in the corner of the hangar. During breaks he would sit there, drink his coffee, quietly watch the aircraft. His eyes were always on the planes, as if he wasn't just cleaning them, but also analyzing them. The pilots at the airport had noticed David's interest in aircraft, but they interpreted this as curiosity. "David loves planes," they would say. "Maybe he wanted to be a pilot." The truth was very different. That Wednesday morning, young pilot Jake Miller had arrived early. He was 28 years old, a newly licensed private jet pilot. He had been working at Riverside Airport for 6 months. Jake found David in the hangar. David was cleaning a Cessna Citation. But Jake noticed something odd about the way David worked. As David walked around the plane, he wasn't just cleaning. He was checking every part of the aircraft. Pitot tubes, flaps, landing gear, as if he was doing a pre-flight inspection. "Good morning, David," said Jake. David turned. "Good morning, Jake. You're early." "Yes, there's a long flight today. Did you prepare this citation?" "Yes, cleaning is done," but David stopped, as if he wanted to say something but was holding himself back. "But what?" said Jake. "There's a small oil leak in the left engine. Very little, but I noticed it." Jake was surprised. How had David noticed an oil leak? Jake approached the Citation, examined the left engine. Indeed, there was a very small oil leak. "How did you see this?" David hesitated. "Experience. I've been cleaning planes for 12 years. Jake received David's answer with suspicion. Noticing an oil leak wouldn't come just from cleaning experience. This would require aviation knowledge. "David, have you done piloting before?" David's face tensed. "Number, I'm just a cleaning crew member." But Jake noticed the change in David's tone. Something was being hidden there. Jake canceled his Citation flight that day. He had the oil leak checked. The maintenance team confirmed that the leak was real, small but potentially dangerous. "David, noticing this leak is very important," said the maintenance chief. "It could have created a big problem during flight." Jake found David to thank him. "David, you saved my life today. That oil leak could have created a big problem during flight." David nodded. "It's not important. Just my job." "No, it's not your job. Your job is cleaning. But you did a technical inspection." David remained silent. Jake couldn't satisfy his curiosity. "David, please tell me the truth about who you are." David looked at Jake for a long time. Then he took a deep breath. "I was a pilot once." Jake's heart raced. "What kind of pilot?" "Fighter pilot." Jake's breath stopped. "What aircraft?" David hesitated. F-22 Raptor." Jake froze. The F-22 Raptor was the world's most advanced fighter jet, and only the most elite pilots could fly it. Is this possible?" David nodded. 2005 to 2018, 13 years. Why did you quit? David's face wrinkled. It's a long story. Jake wanted to learn David's story. I have time. Will you tell me? David sat at the table in the corner of the hangar. Jake came beside him too. I was selected for the F-22 program in 2005. I was 27 years old. It was my proudest day. Getting selected for the F-22 is very difficult, isn't it? The most difficult. Only a few are chosen from thousands of pilots. Physical tests, psychological evaluations, technical exams. David spoke, remembering those days. My first F-22 flight was in 2006 at Langley Air Force Base. I can never forget that moment. What kind of experience was it? Incomparable to anything. The F-22 isn't just a plane. It's a weapon system, fifth-generation fighter, stealth, super cruise, super maneuverability. Jake noticed the change in David's way of speaking. It wasn't cleaning crew David anymore. It was fighter pilot David speaking. Did you fly in Iraq? David nodded. 2007 to 2015, multiple deployments. How many missions? 237 combat sorties. Jake's jaw dropped. 237 combat missions was an incredible number. Did you experience air-to-air combat? David's eyes misted. Yes, I wouldn't have wanted to, but it was necessary. How many? David stopped Jake. Some things aren't talked about, they're just lived. Jake understood David's pain. What was the most challenging mission in the F-22? David thought. In 2014, Operation Against ISIS, Deep Strike Mission, I flew 8 hours, solo. 8 hours solo F-22 flight? Yes, air-to-air refueling, precision bombing, air superiority. I did it all alone. Jake understood the depth of David's experience. This is incredible. Why are you doing cleaning work? David's face darkened. Because everything changed in 2018. What happened? PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. After 13 years of combat flying, I couldn't stand it anymore. David's voice broke. Every night, I saw the enemy aircraft I had shot down. Every pilot was someone's son, father. I was just doing my job, but... Guilt? Yes. In 237 missions, I shot down dozens of enemy aircraft. I count them all. I remember them all. Jake understood the burden David carried. Did you get treatment? Yes. The Air Force offers very good programs, but I couldn't fly anymore. Fear, anxiety, panic attacks. David examined his hands. These hands once controlled an F-22. Now they do cleaning. Do you regret it? David thought. It's a complex question. I'm proud of serving my country. But the price was heavy. Jake appreciated David's sincerity. Do you have family? I had. My wife Lisa. We divorced in 2016. Military life was too hard for her. Children? I have a daughter, Emma. She's 16 years old, but she doesn't talk to me. I was always on deployments during her childhood. David's eyes filled with tears. That's why I came here. A quiet life. No one knows me. No one knows my past. Jake understood David's situation. David, you're a hero. 237 combat missions. This is incredible. David shook his head. I'm not a hero. I just did my job. But you did it for 13 years, and you protected your country. Yes, but my family? I couldn't protect them. Jake could see David's pain. David, can I ask you something? Ask. Do you still want to fly? David thought for a long time. I fly in my dreams every night, but not a fighter jet anymore. Civilian aircraft, peaceful flights. Do you have a civilian pilot license? Yes, but I haven't used it for 6 years. Jake thought of an idea. David, would you take a flight with me? David was surprised. What? A short local flight with the citation. I'll be pilot, you co-pilot. Jake, I can't anymore. Just once. Peaceful flight. Not combat. David hesitated. He hadn't flown for 6 years. I don't know. Please, I'm curious how an F-22 pilot flies civilian aircraft. David couldn't resist Jake's insistence. Just once. The next day, David and Jake got in the citation. David was sitting in the pilot seat for the first time in 6 years. How do you feel? Asked Jake. strange, both familiar and foreign. David began doing pre-flight checks. His hands automatically went to the right switches. "Muscle memory," said David. "It never disappears." After engine start, David spoke with the tower on radio. "Reno Tower, citation 345, taxi clearance request." Jake noticed that David's radio procedure was perfect. During takeoff, David's piloting skills emerged, smooth, precise, controlled. "David, you're an incredible pilot," said Jake. "After the F-22, everything seems easy," said David, smiling. During the flight, David had returned to his old self, confident, precise, professional. "David, why don't you consider working for civilian airlines?" "Because I'm afraid. PTSD episodes still happen. I can't risk passengers' lives." "But you could be a flight instructor at this airport," David thought. "Really?" "Yes, your experience is incredible, both military and civilian. Perfect combination." After landing, David was very happy. "I flew for the first time in 6 years, and I didn't have any problems." "See? You're still an excellent pilot." Jake spoke with airport manager Tom Wilson. "Tom, would you consider hiring David as a flight instructor?" Tom was surprised. "David? David the cleaning crew?" "He's not just cleaning crew. He's a former F-22 pilot." Tom's jaw dropped. "Is this a joke? Number he flew F-22s for 13 years, 237 combat missions." Tom found David. "David, Jake told me very interesting things." David hesitated. "Tom, were you really an F-22 pilot?" David nodded. "Yes, but that's in the past." "David, I'm an Air Force veteran. I was an F-16 pilot. I understand what you did." David was surprised to learn that Tom was also a pilot. "You were a pilot too?" 20 years, but not as elite as you. F-22 pilots are legends." Tom made David an offer. "David, would you like to work here as a flight instructor?" I'm not sure." PTSD. "David, civilian flying is different. Peaceful. Maybe it will be healing for you," David thought. Maybe Tom was right. "I could try." Months passed. David started working as a flight instructor at Riverside Airport. He struggled at first, but gradually returned to his old self. His students admired David. His aviation knowledge was incredible. His safety consciousness was perfect. "Teacher David is the best instructor," said one of the students. "He knows every detail." David began to love teaching, because now he was teaching flight for passion, not for war. One day, David's daughter Emma came to the airport. "Dad?" she said in surprise. David was seeing his daughter for the first time in 3 years. "Emma, it's so good to see you." "Dad, what are you doing here?" "I'm working as a flight instructor." Emma was surprised. But I what? You were doing cleaning. Mom had told me." David smiled. "Now I'm teaching." Emma noticed her father's change. He looked happier, more peaceful. "Dad, can we talk?" "Of course." For the first time in 3 years, David and Emma had a long conversation. "Dad, I'm sorry. I couldn't understand you." "Emma, you were right. I was a bad father. But now I understand. You were protecting our country." David's eyes filled with tears. "Emma, I love you very much, and I hope the work I'm doing now makes you proud." "It makes me proud, Dad. You became a pilot teacher." From that day on, Emma started visiting David once a week. David was now completely different. PTSD episodes had decreased. His relationship with his family had improved. Jake was very happy to see David's transformation. "David, you've experienced an incredible change." "Jake, thank you. You brought me back to flying. I just gave you an opportunity. You did the rest." David is now Riverside Airport's most popular flight instructor. His students don't just learn piloting, they also gain aviation passion. But David's greatest success was healing himself. From F-22 to cleaning crew, from there to flight instructor. This journey showed his true character. One day, David sat at his old table in the corner of the hangar, but he wasn't alone anymore. Emma was beside him. "Dad, you always look at that F-22 poster." "Yes, Emma, that's my old life." "Do you miss it?" David thought. I miss it, but my current life is better. Why? Because now I fly for passion, not for war. And most importantly, you're with me." Emma hugged her father. "Dad, you're my hero," David smiled. "I'm just a pilot, Emma, but now a peaceful pilot. Today, David Thompson gives flight instruction at Riverside Airport, from F-22 Raptor to Cessna Citation, from combat missions to training flights. Because real pilots change aircraft, but their passion never changes. David made the transition from war to peace, but the sky is always his home. As Hidden Hero Stories, we ask you, have you ever met someone like David? Someone with incredible achievements in their past but living a different life now? Share their transformation stories in the comments, because sometimes the strongest stories are second chance stories. Thank you for watching. If this story touched you, subscribe, share, because all of us have pivot moments in our lives. David's story shows us that the past doesn't have to define you. You can shape your future. We'll see you in the next one. Until then, pay attention to the ordinary people around you. They might be legends in the sky.